Good evening, Bear Nation. Bear, it's not Friday morning. I know. I will be otherwise indisposed tomorrow morning, so we're doing tomorrow's morning brief tonight. Sound good? Okay, Bear. All right, good. We're all in agreement. Can I get a commo check in the chat? How do I sound? Drum roll, please. Pinup Prepper said. 5x5, thank you, Smoking Swamp Outdoors. This is the brief for 17 February 22. I'm Bear from the internet, founder and CEO of RefugeMedical.com, President of Caleb House, President of Grindstone Ministries. Today we're going to talk about Chinese land being bought up by the farmers, or is it? We're also going to talk about Ford electric vehicles, which are probably going to not only set you on fire when the cobalt explodes inside the battery that is dug out of a hole in Africa by slave labor, but also going to introduce you to Chinese spying threats. We're going to talk about the foreign legions in the Ukraine war, and then we're going to talk about the national intel that y'all have sent into Bear Independent Intel at bearindependent.com. Tracking? Tracking like a tank, Bear. All right, good. Fabulous. Much of Bear Nation is well aware of the numerous investments, air quote, China has made in American land. A rising number of U.S. states are seeking to prohibit foreign ownership of agricultural land due to the threat it poses to the food supply chain and national security. 3 states are currently considering banning Chinese land ownership. Calls are increasing for Congress to take legislative action to prevent China from buying American farmland, especially near military bases. Several bills to that effect have been introduced in recent years, but none have been passed. Interestingly, in the state that I live in, that isn't actually a state, according to McGirt versus United States of America, no, McGirt versus the state of Oklahoma, I live on an Indian reservation right now, and a bunch of land has been bought by speculators in the area due to medical marijuana, and a lot of those people are not American citizens. And let's just say, being a good tax-paying, God-fearing American is not what these people are all about. They might have certain connections to certain international organized crime agencies. So, yeah, it happens. And the lovely rolling hills of the reservation are now being used to produce vast quantities of marijuana. Which, if you're into, I don't give a flying flip. I don't care. Be sober-minded. But you do you, boo. There are roughly 900 million acres of farmland in the United States overall. 900 million, just shy of 1 billion acres. Bear, I don't know. I can't move out of the suburbs. I don't know where to move. 900 million acres of farmland. That's 3 acres of farmland for every citizen of the United States of America, and a bunch of people who are here that aren't citizens. Let's see. How much land does China actually own in the Estados Unidos? By the way, teach your kids Spanish, because the way things are headed at the border, you're probably going to need it. According to the U.S. the total of land owned by Chinese nationals in the United States of America is 383,935 acres of agricultural land. Technically, and you have to do this with your hands. You got to do the Italian thing, the 2-finger pitch thing, and then shake at the wrists like this. If you're from the Northeast, you've seen this move before. Usually when you're getting told, or there's a really good bowl of pasta in front of you, one or the other, right? Like this. Honey, you ever seen this before? Mm-hmm. You've seen this? Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you get up, and then you get the wrist shaking with the pinchy fingers, it's really good. If there's no, you're fixing to hear it, okay? So technically, according to the U.S. the total is 383,935 acres of agricultural land owned by Chinese nationals. However, let me give you all a hint. When you're going to do anything that even approaches hood rat shit, don't put your name on a title. You use what's called a cutout man, or you establish an LLC or a C Corp or an S Corp, and you have pass-through accounts. And so you don't own any of that. So the Chinese own it, but not on paper, right? Just like Biden. The Chinese own it, just not on paper. On a laptop, yes. On paper, no. So that 384,000 acres of agricultural land represents less than 1% of all the U.S. farmland. But of that 384,000 acres of land, 40% of that 384,000 acres is owned by the Chinese-owned pork producer, Smithfield Foods. Think about that the next time you're wondering whether or not you're going to slap a Christmas ham down on the dinner table. The Chinese-owned Smithfield Food Group. For comparison, Canadian ownership of American agricultural land accounts for over 30%. Now, this is according to the U.S. and again acknowledging that those snowbirds up there on the other side of the imaginary line in the snow, they're more or less on the up and up. Are there Canadian Hells Angels? For sure. Are there some bad dudes in the Canadian snow mafia? Probably. I'm assuming. I don't know. They only get together in June, July, and August because other than that, they'll freeze to death. But I digress. But the Canadian ownership of American agricultural land is on the up and up. It's on the books. The Chinese ownership of American agricultural land is not on the books. Everybody tracking? We're tracking. We're tracking. All right. More than just banning foreign purchases of land, some authorities in the Estados Unidos, that's us, the United States, are seeking to prohibit other projects with ties to China. For example, even though a $3.5 billion doll-hair Ford Motors battery plant would bring 2,500 jobs to Virginia, the governor axed the plan, like, not like the way certain people in the hood say the word asked. He axed it like with an axe, like a Holzbrook, fabulous steel, or a Helkowerk German steel axe. Woof, chopped it right in half. Because of the Chinese partner involved, contemporary Amperex technology, which Governor Youngkin claimed was a front for the CCP. And while Governor Youngkin spends the vast majority of his time with his head squarely inserted between his ass cheeks, he's correct about that. The Mudface, thank you for 20 whole doll hairs. You're the best. By the way, if you're a patron who's watching this right now, we are doing the Patreon exclusive live stream, not at 1900, which is 5.5 minutes away, but immediately following this brief. So we're going to push a little bit, maybe by about a half an hour or so. Okay? All right. Good talk. What's up, coal miner's daughter? We didn't want that plant here in Virginia. That's correct. The reason is the CCP requires spying, requires their people, Chinese nationals who go abroad, requires them to spy. And most people deeply misunderstand the intelligence value of what's called disaggregated intelligence. If I have 1,000 people out there gathering human, rumen, OSINT, all the ints, SIGINT, whatever you got, right? All different bits of intelligence. That's disaggregated. But I take those 1,000 operatives and the 3 to 5 pieces of intelligence that each one gathered, and now I've got 3,000 to 5,000 puzzle pieces, disaggregated puzzle pieces, and I bring them back to a centralized command where I have a room full of people whose job it is to put the puzzle together, and they find the corners and the edges, and then they start finding lines in the picture that line up, and all of a sudden you have a pretty damn good picture of what's going on. And that's by and large how the CCP operates. So it's disaggregated intelligence collection. They do that. We know that they've been doing that. Disaggregated sounds fancy. Yes, it's a $50 word. You wouldn't understand it. Oh, wait a minute, you would. You're a doctor. My bad. Dr. Trevor knows all the fancy words. He's like, have you ever heard of eye movement desensitization reprogramming? I'm like, that sounds like some MK Ultra shit. And he's like, try it. It'll fix your brain. I'm like, I don't know. And then I tried it and it fixed my brain. So I guess he knows what he's talking about, right? I mean, fix is a strong term. It made it fairly more operable than it was beforehand. I wouldn't say that it's fixed. I mean, this is what you get when you come to the Bear Show, right? Hey, you guys are killing it with the super chats. I appreciate you, Gary Bulldog and Kermode Bear. Appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. So Virginia said no to the CCP and this Ford plant. Also understand, Ford is now in bed with the Chinese because they require this Chinese technological data package in order to be able to produce the batteries that they need for their Ford Lightning F-150 trucks, of which I think 18,000 or so have been produced thus far, and they have a waiting list of more than 200,000 that are on order, but they don't have the ability to produce currently because the batteries that they were using, don't tell anybody, have been catching on fire. Also, the batteries that they were using and will be using are all of Chinese manufacture. Don't tell anybody about that. And those Chinese batteries are heavily dependent upon cobalt mines in Africa, where literal children dig through cancer-causing cobalt in the dirt with their fingertips to throw that shit in buckets and then have it hauled off to a processing plant. So it's legitimate child slave labor that's producing the components, the raw commodities to produce those batteries that are then being sold by the Chinese Communist Party to Ford, which you're then buying. So, supply chain much? Thanks, Alex. I appreciate you. I'm super Italian tonight. Appreciate you. You got two fists in the air, shaking at the wrists, just like this, Alex. So, contemporary Amperex technology, which is a front for the CCP, was told to beat feet, get out of Virginia. Great news. They're moving to Michigan instead. And Michigan, when it comes to governance, not exactly doing the best. There's kind of a D-, maybe an F. And we all know that environmentally speaking, nothing to be concerned about with Michigan at all, even a little bit. By the way, anybody else notice that trains full of hazardous materials keep falling off of railroad tracks? I mean, anybody else been paying attention to that? Or trucks. Right. Thank you, sweetheart. You're kind of smart. My wife actually has an IQ that's 50 points higher than mine. She's super duper smart. Cute too. I like her. She's on the other side of the camera. She'll be on Patreon here in a minute. Stephanie S says, yes, how odd. How odd. Almost as if we've been talking about asymmetric warfare for the last couple of years and the attack on American infrastructure and the fragility of the system. William Halford, I appreciate you. Thanks for all the knowledge and gear. You'll get an Italian fist raised in the air just like this. Thank you, William. Coffee. Greetings, Dark Wolf. Greetings. Some say moves like these, i.e. Ford China, are less about security and more about racism or xenophobia arising from current international tensions. Oh man. Stand by. I have to get a thing. You can't see all the thing, just part of the thing. Hold on.
You just leave them hanging, man.
Hey, listen. This show cost them $0. They're paying for awesome production value. Do not look in this binder. Hold on. I have to find a thing. Super duper important. Can I find it? Probably not.
I was just going to say probably not. You're on the spot.
I found it.
Good job.
Boopy doopy doo. Yuri Bezmenov, ex-KGB. Leftism warfare based on Marxist theology and ideology. Let's see. I'm going to cover this part of the book with this part of this so I can show you this graph. Whoop.
Where's your paper?
And the idea, you're not going to be able to read those little words. I'll talk to you about them in a moment. But each line, see the big line in the middle? That separates Marxist ideology from fact. Okay? And then the smaller black lines are a logical argument and then a Marxist ideological argument. Okay? All right. So, for example, We're talking about racism and xenophobia. So let's pull that up on our old chart over here. Literally, if you're white, you're a racist. If you're male, that's androcentrism. These are their talking points. If you're male and masculine and female and feminine, then that's genderism. If you're European in origin, that's Eurocentrism. If you're a heterosexual, that's heterosexism. If you're able-bodied, that's ableism. These are their counters, right? So the point here is that whatever you might be or whatever your ideology is, they've literally mapped out a strategy to counteract the normalcy that is you. They got a word for all of it. They have a thing to accuse you of. If you're credentialed and highly literate, that's elitism. If you're young, that's ageism. If you're attractive, that would be the politics of appearance. If you're upper or middle class, you clearly have a class bias. If you speak English, you have a language bias. If you're light or pale skinned, that's colorism. And if you belong to a majority religion, that's religious oppression. And if you're fertile, like you can reproduce, that's pronatalism. Yeah, very useful little graph. Very useful little graph. Put the binder that you can't see the rest of away. Back to the brief. I'm all of the isms. Drew Stanicky. Yes, you are. I've met you. You're also awesome because of Tactical Combat Coffee Care. Thank you very much. I literally have that on the bug out trailer, bro. You're the best. Bama Blue Eyes almost made coffee come out of my nose. Bullshitism. Yes. Which sounds a lot like Bolshevikism or Bolshevism. So back to the brief. Some say moves like these are less about security and more about racism or xenophobia arising from current international tensions. Trust continues to falter after the espionage balloon incident, Totorinat Spybaroon, and many everyday civilians have been working to avoid purchasing, quote, made in China items since the pandemic. Right here, that's me. If I can get a good product made in America, I'm going to get it 10 out of 10 times. Let's see. Exhibit A. Ta-da! Origin boots and Origin jeans. And they don't pay me to say anything nice about them. I love them. I bought these jeans myself. Were they $100? Yes, the hell they were. Did it hurt a little bit to buy $100 pair of jeans? Yup. Are they awesome jeans? Yup. Were they made with American hands? Absolutely. Did this cotton come from Texas? You bet your ass it did. Was it sewn up in Maine? Mm-hmm. Yup. So, Texas State Representative Gene Wu, definitely an Anglophile, spoke of his own immigrant family saying, quote, "We're Americans. We have no control over what happens in China, but if people look for a scapegoat, logic has no role." Well, Gene Wu, there's also the fact that we are absolutely going to be in a hot war with China within the next couple of years. How do I know? Because that's what JSOC says. That's what NORAD is trying to dance around right now. That's what the special operations community says. That's what China says. Although we're going to talk a little bit about some intel from Taiwan in a moment. Before we do that, I wanted to bring to y'all a very interesting update on the Ukraine war, at least interesting to me anyway. Do we still have a live stream? We do. Joey, let her rip, Tater Chip. Keep up the great content, Bear. Joey, double Italian hands for Joey. Mwah. Appreciate you. From RT.com. What everybody say it with me? What's RT? Russian propaganda. That's right. From the Russian propaganda site, Polish Legion to fight for Ukraine. Kiev is setting up another foreign volunteer unit, according to Onet News portal. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry has approved the creation of a special forces unit composed entirely of volunteers from Poland. The Polish news outlet Onet claimed on Friday. The decision was reportedly made in Kiev earlier this week. The unit's organizer, a Polish citizen who has fought in Ukraine since last February, met with representatives of the Defense Ministry on Wednesday. The unit will probably be named the Polish Volunteer Legion and won't be a, quote, typical frontline unit, but an elite group charged with reconnaissance, sabotage, and other special tasks. TAA, Train Advise Assist, asterisk, right? FID, Foreign Internal Defense. Yeah. Likely. I mean, special forces, what do special forces do? Train people. Train them to do what? Disrupt and dismantle the enemy, close with them, destroy, smash shit, break things, blow things up. Yep. Like those guys. Big fan. Quote, it is extremely important to me that I was given the opportunity to form the first Polish special unit in Ukraine, the organizer, whose name was withheld for security reasons, told ONET. Continuing in the quote, Poland is the country that supports Ukraine the most, he added. I am sure that our unit will be a model for other similar formations. Hold on. A German unit is also being raised, according to the outlet. There are already 2 legions of foreign volunteers in Kiev service, one from Russia and another from Belarus, each consisting of several dozen militants. Quote, it is much easier with the Poles than with the Belarusians or the Russians who come from enemy countries, the Ukrainian Defense Ministry said. Likewise unnamed, told ONET. Handling the necessary paperwork will take a week or 2, he added. The unit's members are planning to set up a recruitment center in Poland. Oh, dude, the counter-ops that are going to come from this it's war. It's going to be a nightmare. What does the vetting process look like? How do you deal with the insider threat? The unit's members are planning to set up a recruitment center in Poland, but this, quote, has not yet been agreed with the Polish authorities, end quote. While officially Warsaw has yet to comment, like the capital of Poland, the Twitter account WHISKY24, reportedly run by the Polish government, cheered the news of the Legion. Blah, blah, blah. Warsaw has been one of the most outspoken champions for Kiev, blah, 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 giving hundreds of its own T-72s last year, blah, blah, blah. Poland has also turned a blind eye to its nationals enlisting in the Ukrainian army, where over 1,200 had lost their lives as of late November, according to the outlet Niezdomny. The outlet, which is critical of the government in Warsaw, claimed that the new American-style cemetery at Olsztyn was intended for more efficient burials amid the rising numbers of casualties. What's the point in all of this? The point for me, boys and gerbils, is that they are now acknowledging that, yes, there are absolutely Polish citizens fighting on Ukrainian soil. Poland is a member of NATO and going to stand up 2 German legions in Ukraine as well. So from a Russian standpoint, this means that there are absolutely NATO members, and we know there are, but there are absolutely NATO members in Ukraine, combatants on the ground. Okay, so that helps Vladimir Putin's standpoint. Whether you agree with him or disagree with him, that helps his talking points. It also escalates the war. What happens when a bunch of those Polish dudes get blown up? And I don't wish that on anybody. I have brothers in Ukraine right now training people on TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care, right now, as part of why the model for refuge training is changing. Because some of our people are there right now, teaching Ukrainians how to not die. And to be clear, I'm not a supporter of the war. And to be clear, nobody's getting charged for this. In fact, these brothers finance this themselves to be able to go over there and do this. Mazel tov. Bless you. It's not a contractual thing. It's not a business thing. No money's changing hands. In fact, it's costing these people money to be there. But what happens when a unit of Polish or German nationals gets blown up? And then Germany is now embroiled in the war. Hot war. Like the German army heads east into Ukraine, or the Polish army heads east into Ukraine. Then what happens? It's full-blown hot war at that point, if you ask me. Maureen's daughter said, I don't support either side and I won't. Yeah, I agree. And I'm not asking you to either. I will say this. The brothers that we do have in Ukraine are teaching people how to not die. And more importantly, they're praying with people, some of which for the first time ever. So even if they do die physically, they at least know Messiah when they leave this earthly plane. And I will not knock that. So, Sage of the Fire, there are a lot of connections between our shortages and the cause of the shortages. It also seems that the small to medium businesses are the targets. I agree completely. Somebody who owns several small businesses, let me tell you, we feel it. Now, national intel. Fanny Burke says no support for dumb shit. I agree. All the support in the world for making disciples of Messiah. Nope, the Great Commission must be accomplished. See, there you go. There you go. And if TCCC, Tactical Combat Casualty Care, can be the vehicle that is used by strong believers to reach other people for the Father by the blood of the Son, I'll endorse it. Not that these men need my endorsement. They don't. They're free men. They're grown-ups. They can do whatever the hell they want. But Refuge Medical might have donated a metric shit ton of shit to make that happen because I want my brothers to come home again. Me, very selfishly, deeply personally, want my brothers to come home again. So, national intel sent in from y'all, intel@bearindependent.com. If you can't spell intel@bearindependent.com, you have self-selected out of the ability to be able to provide intelligence to the Bear Nation. Intel@bearindependent.com. We start our medical first responder class 228. Been trying to get it going for 2 years. Good job, White Fox. Good job, White Fox. Stephanie S. says, very generous of you, Bear. Being perfectly honest, it's not generosity. It's the right thing to do. And I want our people as equipped and trained as they possibly can be going into a literal war zone. And so if they have to, and it's their story to tell, and they may or may not tell it when they get back. But if they have to mule in medical equipment to get the job done, praise Yah. And most of the Ukrainian military, at least the guys they've encountered, most of them are running around with fake tourniquets and a single chest seal. Fake tourniquets and a single chest seal. Do you know how much that hurts us? Like ideologically hurts us. Like, I'm surrounded by medical gear. Literally. I can see a mini stomp, a bare minimum, a bare fac, an ox kit, and I got a stomp bag and a level 2 EMT bag in my truck, plus an arc on my chest rig, plus a couple of little blowout kits and stuff. Surrounded by it. I got a soft tee in my back pocket. And these guys are in a literal war zone with fake Chinese tourniquets and a single chest seal. We as Americans take for granted the blessings that we even have access to in this country. Bear Independent bonus intel sent in from y'all regarding the Alabama National Guard. Quote, basically, they're increasing life insurance for Guard members, which makes me think they're expecting us to deploy before too long. For reference, I'm a medic in a CBRN unit, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear unit. And all of these indicators about nuclear stuff makes me more than a little nervous. Not even gonna lie. End quote. The Lord Humongous. Are you the Lord Humongous of the YouTube channel or of the movie or of both or of neither? So many questions for you. Next, there have been discussions about KIO3 on the Bear Independent YouTube channel recently. I want to remind people to purchase online from companies they trust. Somebody sent this in. From companies they trust and are reputable. When the first balloon was seen over Montana, I ordered some KIO3 when you were sold out. Iodide was received instead of iodate. So they did not order it from us. They ordered it from somebody else because we were sold out, because I've been telling you guys and girls for a year or two, hey, we have KIO3, potassium iodate. Get it while you can. I am no doctor or a radiation expert. All I know is when I researched the two, Dr. Google told, quote, the key difference between potassium iodide and potassium iodate, which is what we sell, is that potassium iodide is less effective in blocking radiation compared to potassium iodate, which is what we sell. I am now on your wait list for KIO3. I didn't order last time you had stock because I was under the impression mine was on the way. Just remind your viewers to be careful out there. Shalom, brother Texas T. ATS, couple of weeks, gonna see you. Question mark. Patty Sanchez, shalom, sister. Mad Kelt, shalom, brother. I am the humongous of finance and geopolitics. Hey, man, that's awesome. Good for you, legit. Baroons, last quote from the Bear Nation. One of the owners/managers of the company I work for just got back from Taiwan for purchasing machinery, and I questioned the feel from the people over there. He said the Taiwanese people view China as noisy neighbors and that they are not the least bit worried about them. They claim that China's economy relies too much on Taiwan, and war actual from China would kill their economy more than it already has been. Either the people there are underestimating the potential for conflict, or everybody else is overestimating the potential for conflict, end quote. That's a very interesting word, and I appreciate it. If you have intel you would like to share with the Bear Nation, intel@bearindependent.com is your email link. There's also a link on the website, bearindependent.com, to provide intel. What's up, awesome one? Thank you, Badger. Hypno, excited for Lebanon Refuge training. Thanks for all you do for your obedience. Bless you, Hypno. Praise Yah. Let's talk about refuge training. Hey, if you're one of those people that jumps off when it's time to talk about how to support the show, I love you. Have a wonderful evening. Have a blessed day. Beat feet, skedaddle, get out of here. Have a blessed day. Shalom. For everybody else, let's talk about Roger that, Texas T. Hey, email us. Might be able to work something out. Okay? Email us, Texas T. You know how to get a hold of us. admin@Grindstone Ministries. Now let's talk. Let's talk about how to support the show. Okay. Okay, Bear. All right. First of all, Patreon, the economic engine of the Bear Nation. The moment I get done with this live stream, I'm gonna go over there. We're gonna hang out with those people for an hour or two on what's called the Pelt Patreon exclusive live stream Thursday. A lot of y'all have asked, what happened to Thirsty Thursday, Bear? It's over at Patreon now. There's a deeper level of conversation there on Patreon. There's 20 or more exclusive pieces of content per month at Patreon, and one-legged prepper. Okay, Bear. Hey, by the way, one-legged prepper. If you're on the Patreon Discord, Badger, I don't know if KL has gotten with you yet, but there's a link to a GoFundMe for one-legged prepper, and if you have that link, go ahead and share it on the Discord, on Patreon in the community section, in the chat right now. However, whatever you got. Medic Mouse, shalom, brother. So, yes, one-legged prepper, we see you, we appreciate you, we got you. All right. Patreon, it's $5 a month. It's the best $5 you can spend on the internet. It's the economic engine of the Bear Nation, man. It's how we can do this. So it ain't from YouTube revenue, I promise you that. Next, refugemedical.com, the company that shall not be named. It's super unfortunate. Unfortunately, we make everything in the United States of America. Unfortunately, we use real medical components, not Chinese bullshit. Unfortunately, we guarantee our stuff forever. Like forever. Like if you break it, I'll replace it at no cost. If you use the components to save a life, and it's very unfortunate, but I will replace those components at no cost to you as well. It's a terrible product. You definitely should never buy anything from them. You know, it's very unfortunate as well that our fulfillment times are better than Amazon. You know, it's also a damn shame that when we say something's in stock, we mean we have it on the shelf and we can ship it immediately. Not like a lot of these other companies that say it's in stock and then you buy it and it shows up 3 or 4 or 12 weeks after you buy it. It's a damn shame, honestly. I mean, I don't even know why we're trying to run this business anymore. But yeah, you know, if you're willing to take a gamble and get an American-made product that's the best on planet Earth, that is at a reasonable price and will actually save your life and will ship quick, then check out refugemedical.com. The crazy kids over at Refuge are telling me right now that we're featuring the Bare Minimum 2.0. This is the Bare Minimum. If you're looking for some scale, this is the Bare Fac. And then the smaller one next to it is the Bare Minimum. Okay. These are both excellent kits, both made in America, guaranteed forever. And they're in Coyote Tan currently, but they come in red with reflective, which is awesome color. Excellent for civilian applications or emergency applications. Gray, black, OD green, Coyote Tan. I don't know if we have any more Marpat left. If you're a Marine, if you're into eating crayons, multicam, etc. So lots of different colors. The Bare Fac, industry standard. It's such an industry standard that I LOL'd super hard earlier today when I was informed that one of our competitors bought the Google search term Bare Fac. Threatened much? Are you? You're afraid of some hippie redneck out here in the woods who makes first aid kits? Okay, that's cute. What's up, Palmetto? So this is the one, the only Bare Fac 3.0, handmade in America, guaranteed forever. You can't beat it, okay? And this is the Bare Minimum 2.0, okay? And the Bare Minimum is a combination of a trauma first aid kit that allows you to work massive bleeding, airway, respiratory, etc. That's right, Andrew Stanek, carrying an effing kit. But it also has boo-boo stuff in it. So you got your shears right here, North American Rescue shears on the outside with the Refuge Tree of Life logo on it. Look at the stitching, by the way, boys and girls. Look at this, right? Like this thing was made by American hands right here. You got a cat tourniquet. Carlo, I know it's not much, but thank you for everything you do and for others in God's name. Bless you, brother. Thank you. Double Italian hands for Carlo. Appreciate you. Thank you. What kit comes with the training class? We're going to talk about that in a moment. You got a cat tourniquet on the outside right here for your massive bleeding. Then you pull the inner pouch out of the outer pouch, right? And then in here, we have a pressure bandage, tape, a Sharpie, gloves, rolled gauze, quick clot rolled gauze back here for wound packing, your compressed gauze for wound packing. All right here on the front and the back, you've got 2 chest seals because you got 2 lungs, as well as a burn tech dressing for burns. And then in the bottom down here, in this pouch down here, we got a whole mess of stuff. Let me show you what's down here. But wait, there's more. You got your wipes and your OTC meds and your sting relief and all that in here for your boo-boo stuff. You've got your Band-Aids and knuckle bandages and, you know, your owie stuff, as well as steri strips for wound closure. You've got in here, you've got your 2x2s, your 4x4s, your 5x9s, your gauze pads, also for owies and boo-boos. All right. So it's like a combination boo-boo kit and trauma medicine kit. It's $219. Lee Beavers, I appreciate you. This is the first live I've been able to catch. Just wonder about it now. I'm on board for doing the right thing. I believe it's time. Appreciate you, Lee. Thank you. 50 whole doll hairs. That's 2 Italian hands shaking in the air just like this. Appreciate you. This is better than a ShamWow commercial. What's up, Romans? So that's the Bare Fac. It's $219. It's made in America. It's guaranteed forever. If you use promo code BearNation, you get free shipping. And that's not nothing. I don't know if you've filled the tank of gas lately, but it's not nothing. Okay, so that's refugemedical.com. Everything is HSA and FSA eligible. Wound care buckets are in stock, but get them while you can, because I'm telling you right now, gauze is getting very difficult to get. And yeah, LOL to my competitors who are buying up our search terms. I see you. It's kind of a dick move, honestly, but I'm not scared. Bare min is 219 bucks. That's right. When is the Stomp 2.0 rolling out? What's up, DH? It's coming. We are receiving inventory from Sasquatch Survival Gear right now for American-made packs for the Stomp Bag, Mini Stomp, Mac 8, and Mac 4. The Macs are mass casualty kits. Mac 4 works 4 to 8 casualties. Mac 8 works 8 to 16 casualties. So imagine you had like 8 Bearfax on your back, right? In an American-made badass rucksack. It's the one that I rucked SHOT Show with. I did 40 to 50 miles with that bag in 3 days, loaded. And because I'm not going to sell it to you if it doesn't work. And I saw it, I liked it. I met the owner, Chris. He's a great guy. And I was like, I like this bag. Still got to ruck with it. Before I'm like, oh, it's a great bag. Rucked with it 3 days in a row, loaded. A minimum of 40 miles, could have been closer to 50 miles, and it was a great bag. Absolutely great bag. So thank Christ L. No more integrity. Bears competitor, you suck. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? Refuge training. If you go to refugetraining.com right now and you find a class in Pennsylvania or Indiana or Oklahoma, although I believe that one's sold out, or Camden, Tennessee at the Self-Reliance Festival that's coming up in about a month, or Idaho or Indiana or any of the other classes that are up, and you go there and you buy a class right now, not only can you use promo code BearNation for 5% off, and I understand 5% is not a lot, but it's about all I got, homie, because we drive all across the damn country to come and be able to teach you guys the fine art of how to not die. So not only will you get 5% off, you'll also get a free bleeding control kit that'll be available for you to pick up at class. And that will include, not only do you get your trainer kit with the class, which has a tourniquet, a pressure bandage, wound packing gauze, gloves, Mylar blanket, et cetera, that's yours to keep with the class so that you don't have to jack up your own kit. I hate that about other classes. Oh yeah, other people's classes are cheaper, but you destroyed your IFAC. You don't have a first aid kit now. Other people's classes are cheaper, but there was 50 people in class and one instructor and you didn't learn anything. Other people's classes are cheaper. They don't travel the country and their curriculum is not as good. I promise you that. Their curriculum is not as good. All right. So not only do you get a training kit with the cost of class, you also get a free bleeding control kit, tourniquet, wound packing gauze, pressure bandage, Mylar blanket, blah, 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 all the things. So you're walking away from class with 2 kits plus the training. One of those kits is your trainer kit that's full of actual materials, and the other is an unopened bleeding prevention kit, bleeding control kit, that you can stick in your glove box or your backpack or your desk drawer at work or your whatever and have a capable kit with it. It's pretty badass. Promo code there is BearNation, refugetraining.com. Check it out. Lastly, but certainly not least, grindstoneministries.com. If you think it's an absolute freaking abomination that there are people out there surreptitiously raping children right now and nobody's doing anything about it, so do we. Caveat. By the hand of the Most High, we have been blessed to actually be able to do something about it. I have 24 children in our care right now, ages 1 to 19. 24. It costs us $20,000 per month to be able to provide for those children. We are building Caleb House, which is our juvenile human trafficking survivor restoration facility, which is a bunch of $50 words to say it is a place where we put broken children back together again. That is going to cost us $1.5 million at a minimum. If I had 10 million, I'd be set, but I can get the ball rolling with 1.5. We have never received a dime from anybody but y'all. And I mean it with everything I've got. I love you, and may y'all bless you for supporting the work that we get to do, to be his hands and feet. If you want to plug into that, visit grindstoneministries.com. If you'd like to buy swag that supports that mission, you can get t-shirts, long sleeves, and hoodies, grindstoneministries.com. The links to all of this are in the description down below, by the way. And of course, you can get our brother Saw's Facts Not Feelings shirt, a portion of the proceeds of which go to support the building of Caleb House. Also, another small company worth checking out, Sanctified Supply Co., our brothers and sisters at Sanctified Supply Co. A portion of their proceeds have helped in the past and continue to help the daily, day-to-day operations of Grindstone, being able to do what we do. Thank you, Retro. Thank every one of you. I can't tell you guys and girls enough how much I appreciate you. And I'll tell you point blank, there are days where the circumstances of my life and the path that we have chosen to walk down, I want to beat my head through a wall or curl up in a ball and cry, because I cannot believe the lack of humanity that some of the people who walk the face of this earth are capable of exhibiting day to day. King David said in the Psalms, Father Yahweh my Elohim, the Lord my God, do I not hate what you hate with a righteous hatred? Yup. Sign me up for that. I hate what he hates with a righteous hatred. And because of the conviction of the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, we are unable to simply stand by and watch and wait when bad people do bad shit to good people. And I could not do that without y'all. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you for supporting what we do. All of it. Refuge Medical. I almost said Refuge Ministries because it's that. By the way, a large portion of the proceeds from Refuge Medical goes to support Caleb House and Grindstone. Refuge Medical, Refuge Training, Grindstone Ministries, Caleb House. When I started this little channel 5 years ago, I had no idea this is what we would be doing. I had no idea. And so if the Father taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, son, hey, daughter, I got something for you to do, do it. And it might be crazy. It might be scary. It might fill you with nervous anxiety. You'll probably have no idea how to do it, but you'll figure it out. If you do stuff and you do it righteously to the best of your broken ability, the Father will bless it. And you will never know the impact that you have on humanity. You will never understand the full depth of the work that you've done on behalf of his kingdom. And it'll suck some days, but it'll be good all the time because he is good all the time. And I am just humbled by the fact that he has used you, that he has used us to be able to do all the amazing things that we get to do together. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This is the best damn audience on planet Earth. And I love every one of you. Keep us in prayer. We'll be busy tomorrow. Patreon, I'm coming for you next. Shalom.